thing I didn't know about my aunt was that my aunt would be what you call a genius criminal mastermind. She did a lot of things in the guise of that's just how she is. But she was kind of a diabolical genius. And my aunt enlisted me to help her work on this game. She said, screw Bradley Brothers and Milton, whatever the games were, all the little board games, the tabletop board games that you play in your house. And then she gave me a thank you and went off to go get the game created. Someone either smarter or just more diabolical than her, snaked her on the deal. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai State Newfoundlandville. Welcome back to Crimson Commentary. I'm talking about the double-edged sword, the incredible power and often the incredible loneliness of being a true visionary. Now, we've all seen geniuses on screen, but what about the real ones? The ones who paid a true cost for being ahead of their time. I'm talking about the price of genius. Is genius a gift or a burden? For me, it's been more of a burden than a gift, but we'll get into that. What does it take to create something truly groundbreaking when the world isn't ready for it? And powerful forces want to steal or suppress your ideas. I'm taking a media therapy deep dive into Doctor Who, Season 12, Episode 4, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. Now, this episode isn't just a historical adventure, it's an exploration of the brilliant yet tragic life of Nikola Tesla. I'll explore how his vision of free energy was met with skepticism, betrayal, and opposition at every turn, even as he was literally trying to save the world. You'll figure out how you think about success and failure and discover the true test that some of history's greatest minds paid for trying to change the world. Let me tell you a little story. My aunt, on my mother's side, one of my aunts, is one of the most intelligent women that I knew. We could often have deep conversations because we had sort of a kinship. The thing I didn't know about my aunt was that my aunt would be what you call a genius criminal mastermind. She did a lot of things in the guise of that's just how she is. But she was kind of a diabolical genius, and I didn't realize this. When we first got to Kentucky, I moved to Lexington around my mom's side of the family. And my aunt enlisted me to help her work on this game. She said, screw Bradley Brothers and Milton, whatever the games were, all the little board games, the tabletop board games that you play in your house. She had an idea for a game. Thing about my aunt, I didn't know this at the time. I think I had to be 12 maybe. My aunt didn't play a lot of games, but my aunt was a master at manipulation. So she sat down with me, and at the time I didn't realize she heaped all this praise on me and just told me that I was so smart, and was I sure I was in this family? Because there was no one that was in this family that was as smart as I was. And I ate it up with a spoon. And then she started picking my brain and started asking me about certain things and aspects of games. And then she even phrased things and worded in a way, if not to challenge me, to help her create this game. And I did. I created the entire game. I came up with the concepts, the cards. I even drew out a mock examples of the cards, the board, the pieces. I designed that whole game. I designed 98% of the game. And then she gave me a thank you and went off to go get the game created. Now, from what I understand, someone either smarter or just more diabolical than her, snaked her on the deal, whatever deal that she was gonna have made with whoever she was gonna make it out. And the game never came to fruition. Only to find out it did some years later. Name was changed. Same game. Almost the entire same game that I created. Even some of the cards, some of the wordings, everything stayed the same. There's a price for genius. A lot of times it's stupidity too. Let's get into it. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai State New from the Ville, here to talk to you about Doctor Who Season 12, Episode 4, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. Now, if you know me for any amount of time, I'm not going to do a recap. I'm not doing one at all. But I still want you to like this video, leave me a comment. Have you ever had to deal with someone who is a genius? There's a fine line between genius and insanity. What did you think about this episode? Make sure that you share this video, and if you have not done it yet, go on and subscribe. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I love my quotes, and I only have one today. And it is from Wanadeke Kindembo. And he says, "I bear it to be true that anyone can easily become a genius if you're willing to pay the price." And I'm calling today's Media Therapy Deep Dive, The Price of Genius. Imagine that you had an idea and you knew you could bring it to fruition. And in that idea, you'll be able to provide free energy for everyone. You use your genius to provide free energy. Now, how could that be a bad thing? There's people everywhere that need lights, that need heat, and you give it to everyone for free. The thing that especially a person who has that amount of genius underestimates is people with greed. People who are willing to exploit or suppress your power. People who are willing to exploit or suppress your ideas for power and for profit. You can find yourself to be a target. Nikola Tesla had a selfless ambition for humanity, but he was an isolated figure, and he was haunted, actually hampered by his success. So many people didn't understand him and made it easy to call him a crackpot. Not everyone has a full grasp of science, grasp of the world. And his competitors made it easy to ridicule him because he often tried to explain concepts that were above people's heads. Thomas Edison kept it simple for people to understand. Even though he had an inferior product, he kept it simple. Nikola Tesla was always under the threat of corporate espionage and Thomas Edison. At every turn, Thomas Edison was trying to discredit Nikola Tesla and steal his patents. He understood what Tesla was trying to do, and all he knew is that there was big money in it. Why give away for free something that I can get paid billions for? Billions. Now, this particular episode, Nikola Tesla's curiosity got the best of him. And when he answered the signal, the little radar, where he sent the message back to the aliens, the Skithra showed up. And they saw the promise in Tesla. They saw how intelligent he was. And they was like, hey, our ship is damaged. Our engineer's dead. We need a new engineer. But they didn't ask him to fix it. They didn't even tell him to fix it. They were going to enslave him and make him their engineer for life. Lucky the doctor showed up. The last thing about the price of genius is actually that price. Tesla, I think, died penniless. He had constant financial struggles. And it's because all the people that believed in his ideas and his inventions backed out. It made it so easy to back someone who seems to be a genius. But if they ever had one setback, here comes Thomas Edison to pour fuel on that fire. And people were afraid of what Tesla was doing. It was so far-fetched. A lot of times, it takes vision to create the possible out of the impossible. But so many people are not willing to see past the nose on their face. They can't imagine what you can imagine. Due to Tesla not being able to get along with people, because people just truly didn't understand him, he spent a lot of time alone. He was isolated. When you're isolated like that, it can be a lonely existence. Many of the things that Tesla invented, a lot of people were just too short-sighted to see and understand, or it became too easy to dismiss, and in dismissing, fund the ideas that could change their lives. Change is hard for a lot of people. The doctor even said something herself, that Nikola Tesla had a destiny of being misunderstood and undervalued. You may walk around with that exact same moniker, being misunderstood and undervalued. Hopefully you have someone in your life that tell you otherwise, but a lot of us don't. The tragic price of Nikola Tesla's genius was not just the effort that he put in, but the relentless opposition and isolation he faced because his vision was too grand for his contemporaries to grasp or accept. That was the price of genius. This is Rakai Steve, new from the Ville. This is Crimson Corner. Thank you for showing up. Make sure that you like the video, share the video as much as possible. Leave me a comment. And if for some strange reason you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the button. Like the videos, watch the videos. You might see something that speaks to you. At the end of the day, it's all about this, but it's even better when you can use this.